If you're thinking about moving to Miami, chances are you've considered or at least Googled Miami Beach. And after doing so, you might have ended up more confused than where you actually started. I mean, there are so many questions, right? Is it touristy? Is all of it touristy? Is all of it expensive? We know which parts are safe. And most importantly, is it actually a good place to live? Today, I'm going to be breaking down Miami Beach from a local's perspective so you know exactly which areas are amazing for residents and which parts you should avoid if you're not looking for a spring break type of atmosphere 24/7. But before we get to that, my name is Mark Henry. I'm a local agent and your new favorite source of information for everything living in and moving to Miami-Dade County, Florida. Myself and my partners, we talk to folks every single week, just like yourself, who are relocating, and they want to find the right home in the right neighborhood. So whether you're thinking about moving next week, next month, or even next year, please don't be shy about reaching out. Quite literally, that's why we're here. The best way to get in touch is by sending me an email or booking a Zoom call. You'll find all of my contact information below in the description, and I look forward to hearing from you and helping you make a smooth move. All right, now let's jump into the map and talk about Miami Beach for a little bit. All right, so Miami Beach is a barrier island city, which means that it's connected to the mainland by several bridges here. And the bridges that connect are the MacArthur Causeway, which is going to be all the way down here to the south, the Julia Tuttle, which is going to be in the middle here. This is also known as the 195. And then you've got the 79th Street Causeway here that also connects. So these are going to be the three main points here that bring the most traffic in and out of the beach. And then you've also got the Venetian Causeway here. It's a little bit smaller and connects downtown Miami to Miami Beach. Now, it's divided into three major sections. South Beach down here, which is going to be roughly 23rd Street all the way south. That's going to be the most walkable portion of Miami Beach, and it's going to have the most nightlife. Then you've got Mid Beach, which is 23rd to roughly 63rd. This area is going to be a little bit quieter. There are going to be more residential pockets, and you're also going to find a mix of oceanfront condos, dry inland condos, and single-family homes as well. And then you've got the remaining portion, which is roughly 63rd all the way up to 87th. This area is going to be family friendly. It's got calmer neighborhoods. In this area, you'll find some waterfront single-family homes. And you're going to find the most upcoming redevelopment, which is happening around the 71st Street area, right around here. Now, as you can see, Miami Beach is quite small, in comparison to the rest of Miami-Dade County, which is all of this. I mean, this is just a little sliver. Now, I mentioned that because I want you to keep something in mind. Aside from the three main causeways and the one smaller bridge that bring people into the beach, you've really got two main roads that go north and south here. And the first one is going to be Collins. So Collins is right there, and this is Alton here. But Alton really only goes up to about 63rd in the 60s or so. So it really services more Mid Beach and South Beach. Collins is going to service, the whole beach. It's going to be your easy way to get all the way north and south. Now, why do I mention that? Well, because during heavy traffic, it's going to be kind of painful moving throughout the beach if you have to leave to go to another part of Miami-Dade. If you're traveling within the beach, it might not be so bad, but I definitely want to preface that 79th over here, as you start heading east to get to the highway, which is right here, 41st heading east, especially over here on Alton, heading to the highway, and 5th Street down here, jumping into the MacArthur Causeway, trying to get to Biscayne or the highway here, is painful. It is extremely painful in the mornings and especially in the evenings. Okay, so you definitely want to plan around that. So there aren't a whole bunch of routes to get around the beach if you want to leave the beach, especially during rush hour traffic in the evening when people are getting home. It is the most painful. I mean, I have been specifically on this road here on 41st, and quite literally it has taken me to get from here to here where 95 is 30 to 45 minutes. And we're literally just talking a couple of miles. But it is what it is, and I wanted to tell you that that's something that you can definitely expect. Now, during the day, moving around, you'll kind of have no problem moving in and out of the beach. Really, no problems there. Even though Collins and Alton really are the only two main roads that service this area, you don't get a whole bunch of traffic that's going to stop you up unless it's kind of that rush hour time, or there might be some events. And those typically happen at certain times of the year, and you've got plenty of time to plan around that. Now, as far as malls are concerned, one of the main malls in Miami Beach is going to be down here, and it's going to be the Lincoln Road Mall. So this is an open air mall, and it's got national retailers, it's got local boutiques, restaurants, and art galleries, and it's great for people pretty much who are just walking around and want to enjoy people watching and getting away for the weekend. They do have some weekend farmers markets as well from time to time that are pretty cool to go to. But this is an open mall here that is extremely popular. And then you've got Fifth and Alton Shopping Center, which is right on the corner over here. This is where you're going to find your Target, your Publix, your TJ Maxx, basically all the big box stores for essential everyday living. Nothing too special there, but good to know where to find it when you need it. And then if you went about 10 minutes north into Bal Harbour, well, roughly 10 minutes from North Beach into Bal Harbour, you've got the Bal Harbour Mall here, which has the most luxurious shopping pretty much in the whole Miami-Dade, aside from Aventura Mall, I'd say. So if you want to do your luxury shopping, you can definitely shoot up here, and it's an easy route right here through Collins Avenue. And then while you're here, there are tons of restaurants where you can have lunch as well. Now, as far as grocery shopping goes, you've got a couple of options. There are 3 Publix locations. One of them is closer to the North Beach area, one of them is closer to Mid Beach, and then the other one is actually right across the street from that Fifth and Alton shopping center. Then you've also got a Trader Joe's right here on Fifth and Alton. And then you've got a Whole Foods market that's right here as well. There is an Aldi that's pretty close by, but it's off of the 79th Street Causeway, roughly over here. So it really only services or is good for maybe North Beach and possibly the upper portion of Mid Beach. But overall, you've got a bunch of Latin markets and smaller specialty markets kind of riddled all across the beach. So you've got plenty of options. Now, unfortunately, there is no Costco in Miami Beach, and that might not mean anything to some of you. However, I am a Costco fanatic, and so I always want to know where the nearest Costco is. And now, if you live here in North Beach, you have a special advantage, in my opinion, because you have a Costco right about here by FIU. It's in North Miami. Not only that, you go up Collins, you go across 125th right here. Now you're on Biscayne, and then you go north on Biscayne, and there's a Publix right here, and there's a Whole Foods right here. Let's see if I can zoom in and get a little closer for y'all. There it is. Here's the Whole Foods, and here's the Publix right here. So you're literally like a hop and a skip away. In my opinion, I'd rather live in North Beach because I want to be close to Costco. I've got a large family, and we buy everything in bulk. So I don't even want to see Publix unless I'm just picking up a couple of things here and there. All right, now enough about shopping. Let's talk a little bit about the downtown and the urban cores of Miami Beach. So you've got a few of them, and they all kind of intersect with the major bridges that go into Miami Beach. So the first one is going to be, this urban core here is 5th Street to about 17th Street. Let me get a little closer so you can see. So 5th to 17th. Again, 5th to 17th. This area here is a big cluster of shops here. Massive cluster of shops along Collins. And then another cluster of shops all along here on Alton. Then as you move north, right here on 41st Street, as you exit the 195, you've got a cluster of shops right here on 41st Street. And then as you move further north, right here off of 79th, Normandy Drive, 71st, you have a cluster of shops kind of all around here, and even some into North Bay Village as well. So this whole area in general. Now, this area is a little bit unique because it's undergoing some pretty major renovation and redevelopment. And that major redevelopment is kind of the last portion of Collins that is not redeveloped. And what the city is planning on bringing here is a bunch of new restaurants, walkable plazas, waterfront amenities, and of course, boutique retail. This area right here is going to be a major value growth zone for anybody who chooses to buy in the relative area. So for the most part, again, when you're looking for a concentration of like a downtown walkable urban core type of feeling, you want to keep in mind 5th to 17th, 71st, and 41st. But in general, all along Collins, you're going to find different places to be able to shop as well. But these are going to be the most walkable areas, the areas that are the most comparable to a downtown, if you will. Now, as far as parks and outdoor life, Miami Beach actually has 45 different parks. That's right, 45. Now, for how large Miami Beach is, it basically means that it has the most parks, hands down, compared to any single place in Miami-Dade. And you can kind of see that represented here on the map. You got South Pointe Park here, Majority Stoneman Douglas Park here, and then just peppered all around, you'll find different parks with these green spaces. Loomis Park here, Flamingo Park and Pool, and so on and so forth. I mean, I won't bore you with all the details, right? But anywhere you see these patches of green all over the place, here, here, I mean, they're all over the place. So Miami Beach has quite a bit of them. Now, South Pointe Park here is actually one of the most popular ones, and it's popular for good reason. It's got really nice ocean skyline views. There's like a kids' water splash area, and it has miles and miles of walking trails and direct beach access. We get a little closer, maybe you can kind of see here. It's also connected to the boardwalk, which starts here and goes all the way up roughly 9 miles into the most northern tip of Miami-Dade County. So in addition to the boardwalk, there are also endless bike lanes that you can take advantage of, and a ton of public tennis centers and pickleball courts popping up all over the place. Now, as far as schools are concerned, the Miami Beach area is serviced by several top-rated public schools and a couple of good private school options as well. So some of the most notable or most popular or most well-known public schools are North Beach Elementary, Biscayne Elementary, Miami Beach Nautilus Middle, Miami Beach Senior High, and then some of your private schools are Rising Stars Academy, Lerman Community Day School, Riviera School, which is nearby, not actually in the beach, and Friends School. So I encourage you to go to greatschools.com or niche.com and do a little bit more research on some of these schools to find out which are going to best suit your needs if you have children moving into the area who are going to be going to either public or private school. And I know I mentioned this before, but I have to say it again. One of the main, I wouldn't say attractions, but one of the nice things about Miami Beach is that it has this massive boardwalk, which starts right about here, and it just goes all the way up north into the most northern part of Miami Beach. Let's see if we can get our little guy onto the map there. Show you kind of what it looks like. There we go. So this boardwalk here literally goes 9 miles. It's a beautiful view of the beach. It's maintained pretty well, cleaned often. And it's for walkers, joggers, bikers. I believe e-bikes are even welcome here. So we're actually going south here on the map, and this is South Pointe Park here. This is the most southern tip of the beach. And then that boardwalk connects here to South Pointe Park, which is roughly 17 acres of green space. Has a bunch of restaurants here, and there's a gym here. There's also a public restroom here, which is nice in case you or the kids need to use the restroom. And if it wasn't obvious, the beaches are a main attraction here as well. You know, white sand, warm water, and basically sunrise views all year round. And these are some of the things that make Miami Beach really attractive to people. All right, but let's talk about some real estate, because I know that majority of my viewers, that's why they're here. And Miami Beach offers a good spectrum of lifestyle and housing types. Majority of the inventory is going to be condos, and it's a mix of oceanfront high rises and inland, maybe not high rises, but just several story. And then you've got some luxury full service towers as well, but there are a few of those, and of course the prices are higher. Prices in general for condos range from 400,000 entry level to, I would say, in the 1-2 million comfortably, but you could definitely get into multi-million for some of the nicer units, especially if those units are waterfront. Now, for single family homes, you're primarily going to find those in North Beach and exclusive islands. So you'll find them here in the Venetian, the Sunset Islands right here, and moving up, Lagorce Island, Normandy Shores Island. Almost forgot this one, Allison Island, which is just a little sliver, but it counts too. And these technically don't count, but you've also got Indian Creek here as well. Now, homes range from 1 million to 2 million for entry level, and then the prices just keep going up. Now, you will be able to find some homes in North Beach for a little bit cheaper, but they're going to be right at that million mark, a little bit lower. At the time of this recording, I saw some properties in the 700,000-800,000 range. All of those exclusively in North Beach. Now, I want you to think about this. Miami Beach holds its property value extremely well due to the limited land, high demand, and the international appeal. You got a lot of people here that are buying second homes. And so, for the most part, a property that is priced well on the beach is going to sell fast. Now, that's true of any area, but particularly for the beach, because you're going to have somebody, especially international eyes, looking at those listings that will want to snap it up. All right, now let's jump into Zillow and take a look at what's actually for sale. So overall, as you can see here, I've got Miami Beach outlined, and I've just got this sorted from low to high. My filters here are 3-bedroom, 2-bath, and I've got houses and townhomes. Okay, let's see here. I don't want foreclosures or auctions. Take those out. I don't want coming soon either. And I do have minimum 1,000 square feet. And days listed, any. All right. So as you can see, the lowest price here is $579, which is absolutely shocking. I'm not surprised about where it's at though, because it's in North Beach, which is going to be the most affordable area here on the beach, you know, for Miami Beach standards anyway. Now this happens to need some updating, and it's currently rented for $3,500. So, you know, if you were going to buy this property, you'd walk in knowing that it is remodeled, but needs updating. So it's not in, you know, current 2025 condition. And then you're also going to have to deal with the tenant, not something that most of the families relocating are interested in dealing with. So we're going to try to find something else. This here at 705 though, 3-bedroom, 2-bath, just a little bit over 1,300 square feet, looks like a pretty good option. All right, and that's in North Beach as well. So now let's do this. I've got this as Miami Beach as a whole, but let's break this down into on North Beach only so we can kind of see what North Beach has to offer. So as you can see, 705, 740, 850, 947. This is a townhouse though. And then very quickly it jumps into the million plus range. So under a million, you do have a few options, right? Which is great because truthfully, most properties here are condo, townhouse, or single family home are going to be in that million plus range. So the fact that there are even some below a million to look at is awesome. So there's one, two, three, four, five different houses or properties to look at under the $1 million range. So this is the one we were looking at before. So the house has definitely been renovated. Not fully updated though. There are a few parts. Yeah, so renovated bathrooms, updated electrical system. So this thing is updated, but not fully renovated to the nines, right? But it still looks great. And at $705,000, I really think that this is a winner. I want to take a look at the street view real quickly. And as I said, you're going to get the best value per square foot. You know, a quieter, more residential atmosphere in North Beach. Mix of condos and single family homes, but if you're going to purchase in North Beach, you might as well get a single family home because you know it's going to be cheaper and you're going to get more space, right? You're also going to get front yard and backyard, and you also get the huge development potential, even if you're not directly near the development. Just being in North Beach alone, depending on where you buy your property, once the development is actually done, it's going to attract more people. So more people are going to want to live in that area. So as I was saying, I think this is a great representation of what you can get in North Beach, again, which is going to be the most reasonably priced for Miami Beach standards. All right, so now I'm going to head out to this property. I'm going to go right outside and show you the neighborhood on the ground because Street View really never does it justice. And then we're going to circle around the neighborhood just to kind of show you what's going on there. All right, now our next section, Mid Beach. This area pretty much has the best blend of residential, island living. That balance is going to happen the most here in this area. So you're going to find newer condos and like different pockets of single family homes kind of all mixed in together. Let's take a deeper look here into the map and see what we've got available. So I'm going to put my filter to 3.2. Houses and townhomes. Let's see. Okay. So as you can see here, right away, there's nothing under $1 million. In fact, we're starting at 1.2, and then it jumps to 1.7, and it just kind of slowly goes up $100,000 increments as we're looking at different properties here. So in Mid Beach, you're likely not going to find something less than $1 million, unless it's a condo. So let's go here and add condos, take away townhomes and houses. So as you can see, it opens up to in the 500, 675, 695. So you got a couple of options here, quite a few, under a million. But then pretty quickly it jumps to $1 million. So let's say it's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18. So you've got between 20 and 25 options that are condos, again, not townhomes or single family homes, if you wanted to live in Mid Beach for under $1 million. And honestly, the same thing goes for North Beach as well. You're going to find majority condos, and a lot of them are going to be in that 6 to 800,000 range, which is actually the average sweet spot for purchases here in Miami-Dade County. So it kind of falls right in line. So let's go back here and put back houses and townhomes. And we'll just take a look at this one here. So this house is obviously renovated and it's been upkept pretty well. It's not fully renovated, but this is a you know, pretty good example of what you can get. And it's right now listed at 1.795. And let's see, let's take a look at one more here. Right away, I can tell that this one was renovated and it has been kept up pretty good. Not fully renovated, fully updated. But this is a nice, clean, good looking home. And this is actually pretty good because as I'm reading this here, it says it has two spacious 3-bedroom units. The first is a 3-2 and the second is a 3-1. So technically you could rent out a portion of this to somebody else, get a little bit of cash flow to help you pay your mortgage. Or you could have older children living there, older children with other family members. Got a couple of options with this property, which is pretty unique for Miami Beach. All right, now we're going to drive around a little bit, show you the neighborhood with boots on the ground so you can get a feel for what the actual neighborhood looks like, because Zillow never does it justice. And now our third section here, which is going to be the southern portion of Miami Beach. And let's see, let me look at my filters, get this to any. And right away, this at 1.25 million stands out to me because you don't typically find houses or property, because this is a townhome, not a house. You don't typically find property this cheap in this southern portion of the beach. So right away, I'm intrigued and I want to find out what's going on here. So it's a 3-bedroom, 4-bath townhome, 1430 square feet. So it's got upstairs, downstairs, and as you can tell from the pictures, this thing is definitely 100% fully remodeled, and they've done a pretty good job with this here. Let's see what the HOA is. Let's see. Well, $525 a month. Now, obviously, anytime there's an HOA, you want to do a little bit of research, try to find out what that covers, but for $525 to be on the beach, that's a pretty good low fee for an HOA. Now, let me see actually what the street view looks like for this property. This is a pretty quiet road here, Jefferson. All right, let's do this. Let's put this into our Google map. So here's where this property is here. And it's pretty centrally located. I mean, you've got the Miami Beach Botanical Gardens here. Right here is the convention center along Convention Center Drive. And then you've got a pretty large park right here. Right here is the Miami Beach Golf Club. And just a few streets south, right here. Where is it? Right here. You've got Lincoln Road Mall. So you're literally 1.5 blocks away from Lincoln Road Mall if you were to buy this property. And then, of course, based on its location, as you can see, you're about an equal distance from MacArthur Causeway and the Julia Tuttle Causeway if you wanted to get off of the island and into the mainland. But you've also got straight shot access here right into the Venetian Way. Now, this is tolled, but believe me, if you're this close, you just want to pay the toll and get over to the mainland rather than going over to MacArthur or the Julia Tuttle. And then you're pretty close to Macy's here, Whole Foods here, and on 5th and Alton, you got some additional shopping there. So in my opinion, for a little over $1 million to be right there, almost in the heart of Miami Beach, is a pretty great deal. Now, keep in mind, if you're living down here, you're going to get the most traffic, okay? 100% you're going to run into the most traffic down here because this is where all the spring breakers go. All the spring breakers are between 5th and 17th for the most part. They're walking around, getting drunk, smoking weed, doing whatever it is the spring breakers do, and it kind of pisses off some residents, so I just want you to keep that in mind. You are kind of in the heart of it right here. Now, if you are in Mid-Beach, you're going to get less of that. If you are in North Beach, you're going to get substantially less, almost none of that, except for some of the traffic that might be flowing through the area. All right, so I'm intrigued by this property here. So we are going to go take a look at the actual area and drive around so you can see what the area actually feels like on the ground. So as you can see, I mean, Miami Beach is not what you see on vacation or on TV or anything like that. It's completely different from what it feels like to live here day to day. And that's exactly why I create these videos. I want to help as many relocators every year find the right property, the right area, under the right circumstances. So remember, if you're looking to move to Miami, reach out. Let's do it the smart way. And if you found this video to be helpful, you'll definitely want to check out my next video, which is going to be all about the pros and cons of moving to Miami Beach. Until next time, God bless and be well.